Imagine a world where every conversation feels like a genuine connection with authentic people. A place where you truly feel like you belong and where everyone's got a chair at the table. Friends, welcome to Armchair Authentic. Okay, Justin, so it's no secret that for the most part, 99% of the time, you and I, before we start a conversation, we always have coffee in hand.
It's a must.
Yeah, typically Starbucks right here in the great city of Moody, Alabama.
Great town.
Yes, and it got a lot better when coffee arrived.
I agree.
I'm just going to say.
Stepped it up.
And then again, I guess the other side is like, well, was it really good now that you're spending that kind of money on coffee, when you could make it yourself? Well, we could go there, but I'm not going to go there. That's not the point of the story. So
it's a different series.
I'm grateful for the friends that I have at Starbucks and that I've made, this year, just by going through and trying to be friendly and saying hello to people. And
yeah.
So there's this sweet young lady. She'll remain nameless, but when I came through the window, like I jumped through the window. No, when I pulled up to the window to make a payment, she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's been forever," because it has for this young lady. Super nice. She said, "I keep getting like a friend suggestion of you like on Facebook," and she said, "I'm noticing we got a lot of mutual friends." She said, "Are you in theater?" I was like, and before I could even respond, then she just kept going. She was like, "Because a lot of our mutual friends are friends of mine who are in theater." And so I'm like, what? I have to ask him, are you in theater? And, it put a smile on my face because, and even as I'm telling the story right now,
I am dramatic.
I am. I was like, are you saying this because I come through and I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Or are you saying, I don't know the agenda behind the question, but then it was genuine. Like, no, like I'm in theater. I'm in the Leeds theater and I do this and that. And a lot of our mutual friends are theater people. And I'm just like, what in the world? Are you in theater? And the smile on my face was like, wow, it's been a long time since anybody has ever mentioned theater in Rhett Barden. And part of me was like, yeah, well, I was actually.
You wanted to bring it back.
I was like, a few decades.
Like,
I know.
It's in me. You do not understand what's in me right now.
I was like,
I'm so close to being like, hello, my baby. Hello, my
hello, my baby. Yeah. Hello, my darling.
I dabble in some dabbling.
No,
I've been known to be a little thespian every now and again.
No. But no, and for those who don't know, I love theater. Like I love performing. And like a part of me was like, oh, I miss this. I miss this. Like finally I can talk to somebody who gets it, and she's just going, oh my God, theater this, theater this. Yeah. we're talking the same language. And I'm laughing because what my wife and son see, like the other night, we were just hanging out and I wasn't planning on saying this, but I do a lot of talking and I know we we can relate to this. They're looking at me like, you got any words? I can't believe you still got words. I might as well.
Going.
I'm just going. And I'm like, the TV is muted. And I'm just like, it's those stupid drug commercials where they've got the fake families and the people are like just being, it's like,
they're happy.
It's so
running
dumb.
Around. Yeah.
Well, it makes no sense. And they don't even look like they're playing basketball, but that's not how you play basketball. They're out there smiling and laughing and pass me the ball. Let me pass you back the ball. Hey, good job, man. I'm like, and the TV's muted and I'm sitting there just all by myself, just creating dialogue to this thing.
Doing that.
Like they're over here in their own little world, and then I'm like just having fun, and then I glance over and their eyes are cut at me like, are you kidding me? And they were overstimulated by this point with me, right? And Linda was like the reel it in, like that I can't do it, where you take the sign language of it, if you will, and like like bring it in,
shutting your hands as you push it away from your face.
Yeah, that's it.
Inner,
you're describing what I'm physically doing right now.
Yes.
And so I was like, what? And they're like, at what point does it ever shut off, dude? I'm like, I was like, guys, I am a creative. This is how God has wired me.
Yeah.
I love being silly and crazy and making up stuff. This is where the greatest ideas come from. is sitting around. Like there are people getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Doing stupid stuff like I am right now. Well, they're like, well, can you make us a lot of money then doing it? Because right now you're not.
It's like, I can make people laugh doing this. I can make people laugh.
I was like, Justin and I used to sit around for hours and just watch TV on mute.
I'm laughing at myself because none of you are paying attention, and this is funny.
Anyway, so you take that aspect and you put me in Starbucks and somebody say, are you in theater? I'm like, yes, I am in theater, but I'm not.
Really? What show have you been in? It was about 30 years ago. Like, Mr. Herzog. It's a little Christmas drama we did.
I was like, well, I was in opera and I went to college on a scholarship for singing. And I did some opera stuff. I could have gone to Broadway if I wanted to.
Yes.
But I literally found myself, and I was texting you, I already had the text pulled up, like, hey, I'm leaving Starbucks now. Send it. I already had it pulled up so you would know. And then she's handing me my coffee and we're just talking.
Yeah.
There's like 5 cars behind us. I'm like, they can wait. We're talking theater, man.
Yes. I was in the Merry Widow.
I know, I was in the Merry
Boutwell Auditorium. We packed the thing
3 shows, solidly sold out, singing with this lady, can't remember her name.
Where is Brother Robin? He's gone. Brother is gone.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah. It was like, I just remember for months, preparing and doing all the stuff. Alabama Symphony Orchestra.
And do you remember
the Alabama Ballet Company?
And then we contracted in some of these well-known like opera stars.
Yeah, one guy from Broadway and one lady from Germany. Where was it? Hungary?
And we didn't know who they were, but it was the crowd knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we were trained, we had worked hard, and now we're singing with these guys. And it's like, I don't know who these people are, but evidently they're a big deal.
Yeah. And I had a frontline part where I was singing with these guys, and I had a speaking part. Mm-hmm. Oh, and what's funny about that, I think I was supposed to say like a cuss word or something, and I told them, I said, I'm not saying that. They're like, you have to. It's written that way. I was like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said, I'm a worship leader at a church down the road. Some of these church people are going to come up in here. So you're going to have to give me another word. So I think it was like the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you dam the water.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, darn it, instead of that.
Oh, darn it.
Oh, darn it. Or whatever it was. It just didn't have the same effect.
The Captain America of opera.
Exactly.
He does not cuss.
And so, anyways.
Language.
Language. Oh. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, that's funny.
And Iron Man's like, is anybody they're in the middle of battle. Is anybody going to recognize Captain just corrected us and said language?
Yeah, language. Yeah. Wasn't that Tony Stark's response?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did let me do that. And which I was like, well,
Yeah, they changed it for me.
They did. Well, I changed it for them, but they
allowed it.
They're like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Red.
Ain't going to say it.
Yep, not saying it. Anyway.
Can't get anybody else. No
that theater stuff, though, like all of a sudden I feel like I was like, well, that was decades ago. I told her. I was like, that was decades ago. But it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then I found myself like, hey, you need to go listen to our podcast. We were talking to Matt Kaplan over in Broadway in New York, and
That's true.
And you're talking about how much more he enjoys community theater. She's like, I've heard the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Like all these people, they sign their life away to do these things, and they can't do community theater anymore. And it's like that was where the joy was.
That was where there's a whole deal you could unpack in that.
Right.
The small things are where it's at. That's where the fun was.
Yeah.
When you get signed up to something big, you're kind of told what to do.
What you can no longer do.
Yes.
All of a sudden now it's like, well, I don't want you to tell me what I can't do.
Yep. They're like now, since we have acquaintances and dear friends who are kind of on the scene right now, getting ready for what will be unveiled in the future, and they're kind of getting prepared in a home right now. I'm hearing stories, and I'm like, how's that process going?
Yeah.
With your family member?
Yeah.
And they're basically saying, well, this week he had to bleach his eyebrows, or they're basically forming you into the idea that they have for you. Now that they're in the big time, if you will, or prepping for it, it's not really the talent that got him in. He's having to be chiseled into the image that they're going to want to present him, just like on some of these big deals. So in the end, community theater in this world is what you miss the most.
I think it's interesting how it's like what you're in to get you to the next It's like you can't really enjoy it. Then you get to the next, and it's like, well, I miss where I miss
where you were.
Like I didn't realize how much joy was in just doing it for the joy.
It was the joy.
But
it wasn't necessarily that thing, even though that thing can be really, really cool to experience it.
So I've been going. So all of this to say, I've been going through a process, and I'm always doing it and trying to ask myself the question of, Lord, you've given me this gift, this whether it's communication, acting, theater, all that stuff, right? Like, how can I use that? Because I think some gifts are there, like, to be used, and I don't know, like, just the avenue for it, right? And so I'm always asking myself, how am I stewarding that which you've given me in a way that honors you? Always. And so I left that conversation as I'm driving here back to the house this morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, Leeds Community Theater.
Yeah.
I wonder what I could do to honor God in that. I'm already fired up. I'm already like, let me go look it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I told her, I said, well, follow me. And then that way I can like see, whatever you're doing in the theater stuff. And I said, I love theater. So I'd love to come out and like watch one. She's like, we just wrapped one. I was like, wrapped. I missed that word. We just wrapped a show. I'm like, she said I was the stage manager for it. I was like,
cool.
Anyway, and so I was like, oh man, I know I can't do everything, but there are parts of me that are like, oh man, maybe I'll just be that old guy.
Yeah.
Once my son's out, and I'll just play the old man parts in every
what a welcome role
theater,
and it might just be AAT theater. I mean, it's
who
Armchair
cares?
Authentic Theater.
Yeah. Anyway, Rhett Barton coming to Leeds Community Theater real soon. Just kidding, but that's how my mind works.
Maybe not.
No, maybe not. Maybe
you're not kidding.
Maybe I'm not.
It's alive.
It's alive. I'm going to have to, I'll be like, well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not doing that. And they'll be like, well, we don't need you. Okay. But I'm really good.
You're like, well,
okay, we'll
you
make
can
a
be
suggestion.
Grandpa and Willy Wonka where you're laying in the bed saying nothing most of the time. Until your grandson, who you're mooching off of, has access to the chocolate factory.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you can jump up and you can walk. The mom was carrying Charlie, little Charlie. She could not even make it, barely make ends meet. She's working at some laundromat, can't do anything, comes home, makes soup and porridge for the 4 grandparents who are bedridden. And you can't jump up and help her at all, but Charlie gets a golden ticket, and boom! I never thought that I could be over the hill with ecstasy, and now you've got the golden ticket. You even said I've got the golden ticket. It's Charlie's.
Last thing Charlie needed was chocolate.
And now his grandpa is like... all of a sudden able to do acrobatics in the room. How's the mom over there? Is there a side shot?
About that. That's funny.
What would the camera look like to the mom over there? Like, you must be kidding me.
You've been laying up in that bed the whole time. I've been feeding you soup and porridge and acting like you were like
my son
dying over here. Now you're flipping and doing.
I needed a father figure for my son.
Where have you been?
You've just been laying over there. I've been changing your diapers.
Yep.
I've been doing all this, and my son is going to the chocolate factory.
It just took a little bit of chocolate.
You just think ain't people do anything for chocolate. And now you got some. You're gonna. What if he wanted to take me to the chocolate factory? Instead, he's taking Grandpa, who all of a sudden could be in the circus with those acrobatic moves.
I need to watch that movie again because I forget all those scenes.
Yeah. I was watching a funny thing on YouTube.
Are you talking about the newest one with Johnny Depp?
No, I'm talking about
the old one.
Both. I mean, look at but yes, I'm talking about the one we grew up with Gene Wilder.
Yeah. That's the best.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy who framed it in a way that in the end, that the villain of the movie was Grandpa.
What?
And it's so funny the way they do it.
It's so crazy how people can just spin a story.
Because it's like, look how he gets up all of a sudden. And then it's like, well, okay, that is interesting. And then there's another part where it's like he gets to do this, and the grandpa's like, can I come? And it's like, look how selfish he is.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when he wins to the chocolate factory, and Willy Wonka says, I want you to live here. And the grandpa's like, can we live there too? And so when he spins it, it's like, wow, Grandpa, you're only thinking about yourself in this movie.
Interesting.
Almost get Charlie killed going up with the drinking the bubble drink.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you learn that you got to burp
Oh,
to
man,
go back
come
down.
on. How
Almost
cool
killed
is
his
that as a
grandkid.
kid? How
It
cool is
was.
that as a kid?
Yeah, so I'm taking the wonder out of the movie.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
Yeah, just
you
brought
could be
that.
Grandpa Joe
You deflated the whole
on
thing.
Willy Wonka. You
Yeah,
could go do
that. I guess
He's got a lot of joy, evidently. He can cartwheel, and
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know.
that was my sidetrack on
so,
Willy Wonka.
It's just so funny to me how like something so small can just spark like, ooh, for me at least. Man, I know I'm different.
You know that we're the same in that.
So different. You know, there's some people who are more practical in mindset and like, you know,
Well,
I'm staying inside my little box.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be outside the box as much as I can.
That's what we love about our wives. I mean, with Summer,
Yeah.
she has been able to hear so many random dreams. You know, because something gets sparked.
Man. Yeah. She's like, you've been hanging around Red again. Dadgummit.
Well, but I'm
it.
just saying yes, but it's also, it's just a wiring. Like I can go,
Yeah.
I can watch a movie and think that.
Yeah.
It's like seriously one of my
really?
all-time favorite movies, which I watched it on the plane on the way home from Idaho.
Okay.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
That one, for
I've seen it
some
one time.
reason,
Yeah.
though, it gets me. It just awakens things, which is you start to, you know, we can unpack as we have on all of our episodes, and we'll do, you know, even more coming up. But it's cool how art. I think God's just so sovereign.
Yeah.
That little things can activate in our bodies. So I think even little things like that, it awakens little.
Yeah.
Whether it's excitements or even traumas, it wakes things up, and you realize that, oh man, I used to hold back on some of this, or oh man, I didn't fully.
Yeah.
And so movies like, for me, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, you know, I've joked around before in one of our podcasts, afraid of flying, sort of certain step outs, nervous to do.
Right.
And that movie is so about that. So I can watch that movie and I'm laughing and I'm crying. I mean, I know you heard me laughing in the airplane.
Oh, yeah, I did. I was like, oh, that's Justin. He's having a good time back there on that middle seat.
You were in front of me. Yeah.
We had the middle seats on the way back. I was like, come on, man.
I was loving it. It's just one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And it's why we've talked about this before, Top Gun Maverick.
I literally was thinking that, Top
when
Gun
that
2.
movie, when it came out, like it's documented by these licensed therapists around the timeline of that movie. There was a trajectory, like a big growth there of men who began meeting with counselors.
Wow.
Because there's something about the timeline, because that was released in 86, 87, 88. We were young.
Yeah.
We were like 8 years old.
30 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. And when that movie was released, a lot of these men, the place they are in their life now, they're in their 40s. They're looking back, and it awoke some things in them when they're seeing them play football on the beach.
Yeah, literally, I got out of that movie, and
triggers
the first thing I did out of that movie was I got to text Justin.
Oh, you did?
I was like, bro, you got to watch this movie. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
But there is a scene in this movie that took me back. And I don't want to tell you what scene it is because then you'll know what I'm talking about. But then there's this really cool song that's going to be like, I already knew it. I was like, this song is going to be hit. I don't know how long it is, but I was like, there's something about this scene. And I not text you that?
Oh, you did.
I don't know. I don't remember how I worded it, but I was trying to code it to go watch it. And I want to see if you have the same experience at the same moment.
And as I'm reading your text, I'm thinking, number one, I need to watch this movie because I know something's going to awaken inside of me that got read.
Yeah.
Number two, I've been sitting in meetings and I've heard how this movie has triggered a lot of people.
There you go. I didn't know that. That's
great.
Great.
Yeah. So I'm reading this thinking, oh, wow.
Yeah. But it was the football scene on the beach.
Yes. I remember. Yeah, because when I watched it. I
didn't tell you that at the time, but when you watched it, then we talked about it.
I told you the scene that really stood out to me was that football scene on the beach. You're like, that's the one. Yeah. That's the one I didn't want to tell you about. And so
I was hoping you had the same experience.
Oh, it was getting me. Oh, yeah. I was ready. I was like, me, you, and Micah, we need to get some of our buddies and go. And just talk through life.
Yeah.
Go throw some football.
I'm even getting chills right now. I know you can't see it with what I'm wearing, but I'm getting chills not at that scene, but even just the thought of the theme music. When it first started, that music, there's something about just music, how powerful music is, right? you know, like almost wanted to Chariots of Fire there for a minute. I'm like, wait, that's
you know
not
how
the
it's
song.
it's got that epic. They're on the aircraft carrier kind of thing. Yeah, the haze in the background, the sun's rising.
Yeah. Oh man, and just
heat from
they
the
relived the beginning of that scene, but then it took me back to being like 9-10 years old or however old we were. You know?
I still remember being in like Jeff. His name was Jeffrey Mulberry. And
why does that name?
Well, he was.
So
we were
familiar?
we were first grade, second grade together, third
But
grade.
that name was he at Parkway?
He was at Parkway, and I don't know that you ever knew him. Other than he might.
Maybe I only knew him
I think
from
he
you
came to
and-
my apartment
I think
a few times, and you would have got to hang out with him. But
I think you talked about him a lot. And then I showed up and I ripped you away from him. That's it.
that could have been part of it. Well, there was a good thing, good and bad. The good thing was we would go to his house, and he had this tree you could like climb in, and we would put on. He had these fighter pilot helmets.
Oh wow!
And we would put him on. And,
He's a rich kid.
And in the tree, yeah. Well, to us he was because he had a house and we lived in an apartment.
Yeah.
But we would have these helmets, and we'd just be in the tree, and just like acting like we're flying like these jets. And I thought, I want to be just like every man watching that. I want to be a fighter pilot.
Oh, I wanted to be a fighter pilot.
grow
I
up.
wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted space camp.
Well, see, I remember that with you wanting to be an astronaut.
Because I watched Space Camp.
Yeah.
And my family lived in Huntsville.
and
if
you were
know any-
hoping that you and Leah Thomas, who was the girl
we're
in
not
the
gonna
movie,
talk-
could
we're-
go
yeah,
to the moon.
We're not going to go there. I'm not going to talk about that on this conversation. I am happily married. I am wonderfully married.
Yes, you
20
are.
years in April.
That's right.
And so, but I can't believe you remember that.
It just hit my head. I remember because you so wanted.
Oh man!
Because I didn't
what
get
kid
in
didn't
space
love
camp.
Leah Thompson?
I
or
know.
Thomas? I mean,
she was awesome, but
She
I
was in
didn't.
every '80s like.
I never got into space camp as much.
Ugh.
There was something
Well-
traumatic with me that I didn't realize till later. But any movies where you're like on a submarine underwater, water type movies and space movies, other than like Star Wars.
Well,
Other than that, I could not stand the thought. Like,
well,
I had to stay grounded on Earth.
Well, number one, my mom was from Huntsville. My family was there. I drove by
that's true.
the Huntsville Space and Rocket Center
That's
all
true.
the time. I went to the museum.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know anything about Huntsville, obviously, President Trump just made an announcement that they're moving Space Force from Colorado to
Crazy, man.
to Huntsville. And I think that's so funny. He's like, and it will forever be known as Rocket City. I'm like, dude, Trump, it's been called Rocket City since they built the rockets there in the 70s. And everybody's going to be like, it's like forever it's going to be known. I'm staking a claim in this.
Yeah.
And I love or hate them. But
Matter of fact, they've already got the signs out, and some of them have a bit of an old look, and we did that on purpose. Made it look like it's always been the
I'm
Rocket
calling
City.
it Rocket City. I'm like, bro, it's been Rocket City for decades, man. Oh, that's so funny,
Yeah. But that's true because you came from there, so you did have more of that.
I had that. So when I watched the movie, I was like, I've been there. That's space. But the only thing is, I was like, I've never went to the space camp. It was like a week worth of like everything you saw in the movie Space Camp was filmed in Huntsville.
Yeah, and it's real. That's
and all
what
of
they
that
do.
was real. Everything
except
that they,
the robot didn't blast you into
except
space.
them actually getting on a real, space shuttle and taking off and Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Yeah,
right?
really allowing the flames to kick in. I'm like,
but
well,
that
that'd be
whole
risky.
But all the stuff they went through, I was like, oh, I've been there, I've done that, I've seen that. I want but for me as a kid, like I was like, oh, I want to do space camp. Like it was like I don't know, $2,000 for a week.
Yeah. Oh
And
my
you
gosh.
actually, it
I
was
didn't know that.
expensive, or maybe it's $1,200 somewhere in there. But that's
That's
a
a
lot of
lot.
money in the '80s.
That's a lot now. Can
But
you
there-
imagine how much that was then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of rich astronauts.
Right. And so this is where all the engineers send their kids to learn how to for a week worth of like being trained like an astronaut. And I was like, put me in it. I want to do it. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Today. So anyway, all that to say,
Now you just took me to the Barons game when we were kids.
hey, back to Philly's Karen. No, anyway,
Oh, she is
she's
loving the
she's loving the fact that nobody's talking
chaos
about her
that
anymore.
has happened the past month and a half.
She got let loose real quick,
She
didn't
did.
she?
No one's talked about her again ever since.
But the the space camp mindset was like I always wanted to go, and I was really disappointed that I never got to do that. I'm so disappointed. Even now, you can hear it in my voice. I'm like, I really wanted to do that because I so wanted to be an astronaut, and I so wanted to in Top Gun. I so wanted to be a fighter pilot. I don't know what it is about a little kid or a boy for that matter dreaming about this kind of stuff, but like Yeah, back to the whole point.
But it does.
It takes you.
But that original Top Gun, even not even just talking about Top Gun, but I'll walk. Yesterday, I was with the family. Like me and Summer went to go play pickleball just to go enjoy that with our two
Still
youngest.
have yet to do that. Linda's
Fall
done
break.
that.
It's so fun. But we're doing this, and where we were playing, I'm walking back to the car, and there's a beach volleyball court.
Oh, come on.
And I'm watching these guys play.
Why aren't we out
And
there?
it just, it's amazing how it just automatically, it gets me. And it takes me back to like,
Florida.
Man, it does. So it's like there's great memories. And I'm just one to believe. Once again, I won't stop here because this is the kind of moment I would normally say, all right, lock in right here because I got some things to say. But there is whenever I get those thoughts, I invite it more. And my first word is like, Lord, there's something on the past that I'm not bound by it. So I live in forgiveness and grace, and you can't live in regret. So none of this is regret. But I do invite the work that the Holy Spirit can still do in our life. So I find myself going back to the past on things, almost to go retrieve some things that maybe young Justin or younger Justin, who wasn't aware of some of these things because he was just so young and protecting himself and only knew the condition of the world that was around him. Yeah. Now that I've grown and I've been equipped and I'm still learning, but I go back and I'll look into those moments to realize, man, there's some pieces that I still carry with me and I don't realize it. It's why it gets certain reactions. So I just take it to the Lord and know that this is going to be an unending process. And it's not bondage to me,
right?
But it is peeling the onion. Yeah. And I'll say, Lord, there's a reason there. I'm getting a reaction from this. And it's not a past regret because past mistakes happen, past terrible things happen. But I'll look at the past and realize there are things I can't do anything about. Yeah. But at the same time, I still want that story to be told. And I also want to do what work I can get from that. So that's why it gets me when we get to even talk about this stuff, like with movies. Yeah. And you can't just go there with anybody because if you're not ready to have ears to hear, right, you'll just think I'm a loon. But when me and you can talk, I think that's what makes us so good getting to have conversation because this is really our talks when we are walking around or having coffee because we can go back and forth and it's like God uses our relationship to unlock things and just go deeper and deeper. So anyway, when I think about some of that stuff, it's an ongoing process with me, but it's a welcome process knowing that God has a story he's writing in all of us. Yeah. And there is power when you can look back, not in regret, but to retrieve some things that can still be active in your life, even right now.
Yeah. You know, and the theater thing, I know that's kind of how this whole like conversation got birthed. You know, I'm always like, why? I guess I ask myself this a lot. Why am I the way I am? And oftentimes I try to go back and look and go, well, was it because I didn't have a lot of attention given to me, so therefore I was trying to vie for attention, and therefore I became an extrovert, introvert. You know, people are like, you're not an introvert. Well, I kind of am more than people think I am. Yeah. You know, but like, and anyway, it opens a whole, I don't know, a Pandora's box of going, what, why, you know, and then maybe I was just always innately wired that way. Cause I go back and I've always been like, hey, you know, performer.
Yeah, that's right.
which is a good thing, but it's a bad thing when you get redeemed, you know, through Christ. And then you bring that performance mindset into, you know, feeling like, well, now I guess I'm a performer and I got to do these things to get this kind of attention. So I need to perform for God, you know? Oh, yeah. And whether you're a performer or not, like, I think that's one of the easiest things where, like, we have to earn God's love. We have to earn God's righteousness, even though I know that grace is a gift. Yeah. And I know that it's free and Christ has done it. There's nothing that I can do to earn it. But yet I feel as if that's been a big journey for me through the years. Going, I don't have to earn God's righteousness. Yeah. You know, fruit does have to be a part of that though. Like when you come into a relationship with God, it is grace and that's a beautiful thing. But it doesn't mean we just sit back and do nothing. And I really love, I don't know his name. He preached this past Sunday. Jamil.
Yeah.
He did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he did.
Go to churchofthehighlands.com, and listen back to, I
Latest
think it was
message.
Sunday, October 11th or 12th, something like that. He was just talking about serving, and it took the whole legalism out of it, and kind of put it like there's a whole nother side of the page, if you will.
Yeah.
And I don't want to tell this story. You need to go listen to it. I'm like, I'm still in that. That was really good.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a whole other side. There's more to salvation than just, being saved from our sins. Now it's like, now go and experience God's goodness so you can live God's goodness so people can see God's goodness in your life.
Yeah.
Like, by loving and being caring and being kind and living a life of generosity and serving actually allows people to see the goodness of God.
Yeah.
And so I used to get it twisted in my early relationship thinking, well, I got to go do that so that I'll continue to maintain my, not righteousness, but like God smiling on me as long as I'm doing all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not it. The byproduct of you just being with God in that relationship with God is that, man, God's transformed me and now I'm living a transformed life. And now the byproduct of that transformed life is that I am being generous with my time, with my talent, with my treasure. I am being kind because I'm experiencing kindness. I'm not being kind just to be kind so I can continue to be good with God. No, like it's a byproduct of being in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that byproduct is what then shows the goodness and the love and the kindness of God to other people around us. And so I'm no longer in this performance mentality of trying to perform these things.
Yeah.
It's just a natural byproduct. And so out of just this grace relationship. And so that's always been a journey for me, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But
that going from performer to just being.
And then, but we still jump back in. It's our triggers hit us and we jump back into performance. Yeah. So you find that you're constantly, there's that battle of being aware. Mm-hmm. And the hope is it's not like you just overcome it where it doesn't naturally come back.
Right.
It's that we become better at recognizing when it kicks in.
Yes.
So when it kicks in automatically, you're hoping that taking every thought captive, the akmalatiza, as Lance said in our earlier podcast, that even in this kind of form, these thoughts of performance, I do feel like it doesn't stop. It's just I'm able to capture it. I'm able to capture that thought and recognize, okay, everything right now feels like I'm going to jump into performance, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to just be. Even though everything's telling me right now to kick back into performance.
Yeah.
There's a maturity now to just be.
Yeah.
And not try to force things to happen.
Hey friends, just want to take a moment and say, if you are enjoying today's conversation, could you do us a huge favor? Would you take a moment and copy the link from your favorite podcast platform and share it with a friend? Email it to a friend. How about airdropping it over to your buddy or your sister right now? Man, that would mean so much to us. Thank you. All right, guys, back to the conversation.
And so with that, I'm very much aware. I always look at the enormity of things. Like we were talking about go do the Broadway.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to do like theater, I don't think small town theater. I think I'm going to Broadway, baby.
I'm skipping all of this. This is like I'm going right to the top,
That's right.
baby.
If I'm thinking music, I'm going for the Grammy. It's just how my mind is wired, and maybe that is.
I think it's God-given. I think part of that is a God-given natural, and it's okay to have those. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with aspiration.
It can
healthy
get toxic
aspiration.
Quick. Yeah,
that's right. Because then you're chasing an idea of something. That's why so many people finally attain that thing, and they realize there was nothing at that finish line. Oh my gosh, it was the beauty of process. Which we were talking about before.
We were talking about that.
The podcast.
A lot of people get the title, they get the corner office, they get the paycheck, they get the car, they get the house, whatever, and they're like, well, what now? Because there's nothing fulfilling in it. Yeah. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, it was the thought. Right. It was the thought of the great thing that was out there.
Because that's what the world sells you.
It's the world
sells you the allure or the image of, this is what you need.
Yeah.
And what I think what we were talking about earlier before we hit record is this book that I'm reading that my son actually read as he's preparing to want to take on motorsports, called Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy.
Yeah.
And he's really talking about the good to the great athlete. You know, this guy's trained Olympians and stuff. And, you know, he's just talking about the mindset. And you're talking about taking the thoughts captive and putting them in the right order according to God's word. And now Jim hasn't talked about that yet in his book, but there are a lot of biblical principles in this. And in the thought of going, hey, the journey, like the joy is in the journey. The joy is in the process. And for those who are wise and who are great and who become incredible athletes, are those who have realized that the joy and the fulfillment doesn't come in winning or having another trophy on a shelf. It's really the joy of, what am I learning in the process of growing?
Yeah.
What am I learning in the journey of the in-between, in the middle? Yeah. Because they prepare all their life for, like, on the Olympics for like a minute, maybe.
Right.
And so like that comes and goes really quick. But the joy, like, and of course, like the results, they want those results. But at the end of the day, their mind, the great ones, are really set on realizing it's not about the corner office.
Yeah.
It's not about the extra zero on my paycheck. It's not about that house. It's not about, like, it's about what's in front of me right now. And what can I learn? How can I grow? How can I enjoy this process of whatever it might be, perseverance, and the character that's developed in me in that in the whole journey. Yeah, that's hard because we're more destination people.
That's right.
But the destination is the journey. Yeah, it really is. That's where the fulfillment really truly
you can
is.
Discover that before God's grace is there. So even if you hit rock bottom, when you realize the top is actually the bottom, His grace is still sufficient. That if you can discover that in it, you begin to recognize that we don't live for the mountaintop experiences. Those you can enjoy them when they come. But what I've also learned is you can't make those happen. No. But performance-minded people, we want to make those happen. So we want to recreate events. We want to recreate this, thinking it will now give the feel. And I do think that I can speak from our country, our society, our westernized Christianity. Yeah. We do live to feel. We don't want to suffer. Yeah. We do tend to just skip past all the scriptures that Jesus was a man of sorrow. Yeah. That suffering produces some of the greatest growth in our Christian journey. But yet when we're in suffering, we are so ready for it to be finished. But the sooner we can understand that it's the ordinary, it's the average, it's some of the suffering moments, even those valleys that we're in, some of the greatest work is happening. And it's usually what precedes some form of a mountaintop experience. And even just I can tell tons of old stories, but even in just recent days, I always love like fresh stories. I love telling old, but I always get a bit skeptical when I only hear, and maybe that's because I would be the same way, when I only hear old stories from people. Yeah. And don't stop telling old stories, but when I haven't heard anything fresh. Yeah. And the reason I get skeptical is I'm not skeptical of you, I'm skeptical of me. So it makes me go ahead and I project myself onto you thinking, are you doing the same thing I'm doing? Because if I don't have new stories, it means that I'm not stepping out and taking on new experiences or stepping into the suffering and understanding the lessons that God teaches us, even by allowing us to go through this stuff. Yeah. And so I think about, I agree with we talked about last week with Idaho, when we went, or 2 weeks ago, the men's retreat, the men's advance. Yeah. And I'm already forgetting our last episode. So I know we talked about it. Yeah. But did I talk about just the deep anguish that I felt before? I can't remember if I mentioned it.
I haven't listened to it. I mean, I lived it with you.
Yeah, but I can't remember if I talked about that on the podcast. Well,
even if you did, talk about it again. We got new friends listening.
And I'll say it quick. I only know we have a few minutes left, but that, and I think the reason I can't remember if I told it is I've already told this fresh story. I've had probably 3 different environments, whether it's just one-on-one or to a group of ministry leaders, and I've gotten to share that fresh bread. Yeah, that's good. And it's amazing. Okay. And because all I know is when Wednesday night, I'm at First Wednesday, but I'm also mentally, I've been prepping messages. just all these things for the upcoming, because I was going to be speaking. There was technically 4 sessions and 2 Sunday morning services. So speaking 6 times over the course of a few days. But in my mind, I'm having to prep what would be 5 different thoughts for those sessions. So I was doing a lot of study, getting ready, and excited. I'm packing my bags after a wonderful first Wednesday night. And man, this darkness, I shared it. So you know this story because I did share this to the men. But this darkness, this sorrow, this sadness came over me so deep. And that's not a regular occurrence at all. And I am processing, wondering, like, Justin, what is wrong? And I tried to sit in it, let it end, and it just got deeper and deeper to the point. I mean, if there was an out, I did not just read. I don't know if I even said it this way. Yeah. But in that moment, I did not want to go meet y'all at Idaho.
Yeah.
There was just a point that I thought.
Was it a heaviness?
Oh, it was really, very heavy. And I even began, I'll go over some questions that I even had. But all I know in that moment is, man, if I start feeling worse, I can justify just giving a text and say, bro, I hate this. But I'm not feeling well at all.
At that point, you have to realize, and I know you do, that this is purely spiritual warfare to keep you away from what God wants to do.
It is. And different thoughts hit my head. The first thing I thought was, it's October.
Yep.
So this is a very heightened season. Every season's heightened, but this is a very heightened season. So I had to be aware of that, knowing there's some forces coming against me, or coming against a lot of us. The second thought is, I'm about to go to a men's advance and speak to about 50, 60 men. And I do know that that's going to be met with a lot of opposition. So that could be what I'm facing right now. I also thought, these are just honest thoughts I'll ask myself when I'm in moments like these. What we started our conversation with, like the performance side. I thought, this could be some severe anxiety because I want to be liked.
Yeah.
And I know these men that I'm about to be standing in front of, they're the men of men in our country. Tough, big, strong,
burly.
They might not
farmers,
relate
agriculture.
to the Starbucks grande latte caramel venti macchiato dude that I can be. So these are just real thoughts.
That is. Yeah. I get it. Trust me.
Will they like me?
Yeah.
Then there's the thought, I'm about to be away from my family for about 5 days. I'm sure going to miss them.
Yeah.
These are just the thoughts. Yeah. And I just didn't know where to go in that moment. And I just remember going to Summer and I said, hey, I need you to pray for me. The only reason I share that story, and she prayed for me, and I enjoyed like her warmth, just her hand on my back, just kind of, scratching my back a little. Yeah. Then it's like, I'm going to bed. And she didn't have to force to make sure I'm okay. She was present. She listened. There's so much we can learn from this, but she was present with me. She listened to me. She prayed for me, but ultimately she had to give me back to God. Because it's God who deals with every man. Yeah. We don't go into fix. Yeah. She didn't try to fix. I went to sleep. Yeah. I woke up the next day feeling a little better, but still I felt the weight of it. Yeah. But I stepped into it. Early morning flights, dark, you know the deal. Yeah, I do. I get there, I land, I'm with you, Rhett. And of course, I'm always happy to see you, but I'm also in that mode of just I'm kind of coming out of the long flights.
That's a long trip.
It's already
3 flights. Yeah. Trust me. I live it every month.
You do.
It's a long time.
So it's compounding that with some of that inner turmoil that came out of nowhere. Yeah. Okay. So the reason I set that up is when you're thinking about your story for our listeners, for our family who will continue to listen to this, our grandkids maybe one day, it's the deepest suffering moments. Had I have bowed out of that and not embraced it, what would come after that was personally for me, and I knew it was going to be great, but personally for me, one of the greatest ministry experiences that I've ever had. Because I was able to fully operate in what is a God gift that he's given me. Yeah. Which was like this, just to kind of have conversation and to talk out things, name things that might be on these men's life. Yeah. But I began to just talk. And then in the middle of the message, I'm reading Psalm 23, 1-4.
Yeah.
And 1-3 is really what I meant to read, where it's like, he's with me, all this stuff. He guides, he leads, he directs. And then for that fourth verse, I just read it because it was on the screen. It wasn't even part of my message.
Yeah.
But I went ahead and at least fulfilled the scripture. I read it. But as I read it in live, it says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because you are with me. I read it just to kind of finish and go back to verses 1-3. And as I read verse 4, it penetrated my heart because it says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I related with that verse so strong because just not even 24 hours ago, I was in despair. And I even stopped when I'm talking to the guys, and you remember that. I said, guys, I got to be honest with you on something. Like, this isn't what I was saying, but this verse. And of course, I explained why it resonated. And ironically, the other stuff was good, but that's when whatever it was broke in the room. And hearts began to open because it became relatable. So that's another story. We won't have to talk about that. We already covered some of that last week. But coming out of that trip, so now we've ministered, I think it was a total of, which is amazing, 18 to 19 people from that weekend, the retreat and the church service gave their heart to Jesus. Amazing. The men who came up and just gave hugs, and it completely did away with any thought of the coffee metro. It was awesome because we got to go be men there, but we got to be ourselves, embraced in every way, and loved on. And actually, it was wonderful. Okay, setting all that up because that happened in the valley of the shadow of death and the suffering that we can go through. When I got home from that, yes, I'm tired. It was a lot of stuff, but I began to have the fondest memories of that, thinking, that was a mountaintop, no pun intended, but that was a mountaintop experience. One of the greatest experiences. If I could go do that again right now, I would. Because it was that amazing to get to do it. The point is, we don't recognize it when we're in it. It's dark, but we have to welcome and invite the Holy Spirit to sit with us in the moment, to not back down, to press through, and just know that even in the midst of what could be sorrow, anxiety, depression, sadness, that there is something on the other side that is a mountaintop that is just waiting for us to step into. And it comes in those moments when we least expect it.
Hey guys, Red here. Just want to take a moment and say thank you to every single one of you who have taken the time to follow us on social media. Now, if today is your first time to join us for an episode, man, we want to say welcome, friends. It's so good to have you with us. Could you take a moment, look us up on Instagram or Facebook? You can find us there at Armchair Authentic, or you can go on over to X, find us there as well at Armchair Auth Pod. That's Armchair Auth, AUTHPOD. All right. Now back to the conversation.
That's why the whole journey is so important, because the mountaintops exist within the journey. And if you're constantly looking, I'm going to do this so that I can be found worthy to go speak to 5,000 people. That 5,000 group's never going to provide what you're in right now is going to provide, because that's not the goal. You just attained what the ultimate goal was in that moment. And because you're faithful to walk through it and sit in it and be faithful in it and to press on towards the prize that God has called you to, you will experience the amazing moments that exist in those very ordinary moments.
If you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it.
Amen. Well said.
I think that was one thing. First of all, well said.
Thank you.
I don't think there's any more I can add to that. Appreciate your vulnerability and your authenticity in that. And I know the Lord is speaking to many of our friends who are listening in their own journey and processing. But the reason I said what I just said was because, if you can't learn to be enough with, and only one that's going to fulfill that is God in the moment, right? It means if you can't enjoy where you are in the process, even if it's painful, and see God in the moment, to know that he's with you and he's carrying you and he's there Like if you can't see it there, you'll never see it on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And so like with my son right now in this journey of him wanting to become a professional race car driver and stuff, I'm like, dude, like if you're not enough now, you'll never be enough with that. You know, in other words, that's not going to fulfill you. That mountaintop experience is not going to fulfill you. So learn how to be fulfilled in the moment that's in front of you.
Yeah.
And learn that the greatest success is your love for God, your love for your family, and, you know, the friends that you get to do life with, and enjoy where you are in the process and realizing that this moment, like you talked about, is an incredible moment. And if you learn how to grow in this moment and see the good things that are in it, even in the pain, then like, wow, when you get there, you won't be looking at it from, well, I finally arrived. No, you're just like, oh, I've seen the joy in every part of the process.
Yeah.
And now I'm here. And I mean, yeah, it's fun, but like, man, that's not who I am. I know who I am.
Yeah.
This mountaintop doesn't define me.
Yeah.
This trophy doesn't define me.
Yeah.
This paycheck doesn't define me. Now it's nice, but I've learned, it's like, I love that scripture, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ. I think this is what Paul was saying is like, you know, I've learned how to live with little and I've learned how to live with much.
Oh yeah.
And no matter what situation I'm in, I can do all things.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I can go out and like become a professional athlete or do all the, you know, I mean, you know, talent wise, but what it truly means is I've learned how to be content in every situation.
Yeah.
Because I know who he is, God, and I know who I am and my identity in him. No matter what situation, I'm content. I'm happy. I'm well provided for.
Yeah.
In the lack and in the provision.
Amen.
And I think that's what I look at.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, if I can learn how to be content in these moments here and learn I think that's the story of my life. You know, and I know in the last conversation we had, we talked about, hey, I need to share that story of that point of pain in my life, you know, and we're going to do that. I promise. I'm not trying to tease this out and leave people hanging for another conversation, another episode, but we're definitely going to share that.
Next episode, it's happening.
In the divorce that I went through in my early 20s and how God just worked, you know, miracle in his faithfulness. But like, I mean, I've learned so much through that pain, you know, and how much more about who God is in those moments. In the darkest valley than on the mountaintop.
Every dark valley that we go through, and that adds a perfect cap to that, because this what I began to talk with Summer about this week, we were just kind of talking through I was talking about the trip that I just explained, but you take it back. Anything that I've looked back, and I was journaling about this yesterday, that has been that I felt like this is meaningful work, it has come after one of those tragic, sorrowful, sad seasons when it felt like are the best days behind. Every time. And there's something to be said for that. God is in that because he is a God of resurrection.
Oh, absolutely.
And that just promotes the finest work. He resurrects things in our life.
You can either blame God or you can either trust God. And what you were saying is how through some of the most toughest moments, you've done the most work. It's because you made the choice to do the work in it. And to mine the gold that is still to be found under your feet, no matter where your feet are. In circumstantially speaking.
And you're fully dependent on God in that.
Because there are a lot of people, when the storms of life come, their foundation was built on sand. And you've chosen over time to continually cultivate the ground underneath you to be a firm foundation for which you build your life, your family, your faith.
Chief cornerstone, Jesus.
And so every storm that's come, I've seen it in your life, you have made the choice to trust God, to still process everything and not pretend like you're not going through hell and pain, you know, and those are your stories to share. But you guys have trusted God despite what the circumstance in this broken humanity is.
And same to you. That's what I've seen with you guys.
And that's
fully foundationed on Jesus.
And so some people are listening and go, well, I mean, like, how do you do that? Like, I'm in so much pain. There's no way. But it's like we all have the ability to make choices
Yeah.
and how we respond to situations. And I think looking back at our lives, and we've still got a lot to live.
Yeah.
Praise Jesus.
Come on. Just getting started.
I'm excited about Jesus coming back real soon, but I'm also like, he's designed us to live. And I want to live the fullest life I can. And I'd love to see my son end up getting married, having kids, and seeing his, and all that like that. Of course, God's designed us that way. But like I'm saying, like I don't think the best days are behind us, or like it's just the process. My best day is now.
Yes.
It's not tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
not behind me. It's like it's this
You're
conversation right now. We're in it.
We're in it right now.
Well, we've learned that, and I think that's the joy of this conversation. It's like, man, it's just like learning how to live in the moment, whether good or bad. Circumstances don't determine my peace.
Yeah.
My peace is inward, not outward.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm hearing in your story, and I just want to highlight that to say, yes, I agree with everything you're saying, but if you're on the other end, you've got to realize, but Justin has made decisions to choose to mine the gold, even in the darkness.
Yeah.
When it looks like you can't see.
Yeah.
You're realizing through the truth of God's word that he's revealed to you, yes, I'm going through this. There's something to learn. There's something to grow through, because I know I'm going to come on the other side of it. Why? So that I can help other people when they go through it too.
Yeah. That's really good.
And that has been the story of our lives.
It has.
Yep. And that's the story that I am going to share, hopefully in next episode for personally what I've gone through in order to time capsule what
absolutely.
you were saying.
Yeah.
Because when we started this whole thing, it really was just to try to have conversations in a way that serve our family.
That's right.
And serve our friends and help people in the future and encourage. But if anything, really, to come back to a point that what I would have given to be able to listen back to stories that my dad or my granddad or my great granddad of.
So rich. That would have been so rich.
I would have loved to have done that. And now we live in a day and age where we can kind of, capture this.
Very much so.
In a way we can go back and listen to, or our grandkids can go back and listen to, Lord willing.
And by the time you're listening to this, kids and grandkids.
Absolutely.
This is not AI, because I know AI will basically sound just like us and look like us.
Well, they don't know
This
our
is AI free.
AI free. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I wanted to say that about blaming God or either trusting God to get you to the point that you are.
Well, because I think that we, as we're beginning to walk through this, this is episode you're listening to now is episode 90.
Yeah.
And so we're going to put a whole new focus on what we're calling really the final 10 of this era.
I'm sorry. Say that again, because I think some people might have missed what you were saying. there was no drum roll. There was no huge setup.
There wasn't. Is that not just me? I just kind of say it how it is.
Yeah.
No build up. So we're at episode 90 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to put a full focus over the next 10 episodes.
Yep.
Which will then be episode 100, which we will call the end of an era.
The end of an era.
Do you want
season one?
You are the best. You're the best when it comes to
I don't know about
giving context to things. I'll say it, and then Rhett will jump in and give a context. Like what Justin means is, but
So I think when we started this, we didn't know where it was going to go, what we were going to do with it, how long it was going to last. We just knew that we were called to steward the moment.
Yeah.
In that conversation, we had no agenda other than creating an opportunity for us to capture conversations.
Yeah.
Doing real life with real people, I think is how we started saying it.
That's
real conversations about real life with real people, right?
Aren't you all?
And so that's what it's always been. And so you and I actually met a few weeks ago, and we were just kind of praying through, what does 2026 look like? Where are we in this season, and how can we steward this?
Yeah.
And do we continue? I think there's wisdom in always reflecting and asking yourself the question, just because we're doing it, does it mean we need to continue to do it?
Yeah.
And so I think we're just praying through that. And you met with me the other day, and we were talking about what 2026 looks like. You got a lot of things going on in your life. There's things happening, in my life too. And, where does it all fit? Because we can't say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And I think we've been blown away with the, guests that we've been able to have, and the conversations we've been able to have, and the friends We've hit every continent on the planet,
Crazy.
which is nuts.
It is crazy.
And so for those who are joining us from other countries, one-offs or just continuing to listen, it means so much to us.
AI, go ahead and translate welcome
Yeah.
to all those continents and languages.
So all that to say, we felt like we're landing the plane.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, and I told Justin earlier, I don't feel like it's a period. I feel like it's more of an ellipsis, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
That means to be continued, maybe.
It's like did Seinfeld at the end of Seinfeld, did they ever get out of jail?
Did he?
That's where
Is that what it was?
ended. It ended with them in jail.
I did not know
It was
that.
a terrible ending.
I mean, how else do you end
Yeah.
it? How else?
Friends.
Yeah.
What are Friends up to now? Well, we don't know. They haven't made another one. Will they? Well, not all of them can be there now.
Yeah.
Some have passed on.
Sad.
White Collar, great show. Me and Summer are pumped. They might have another one come out years later.
Yeah.
It's a rumor mill.
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
But yet at the same time, it was really darn special.
So all that to say, we have 10. We know that we have
Who
10,
knows?
10 more conversations.
Yeah.
That we turn into episodes up to episode 100, and then from there,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. We'll call it the closing of us. Some people say seasons,
Yeah.
and So we've agreed that we feel like for what we've been called to steward in this time in this season, that we're good with closing the chapter of this book at episode 100.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I would say the good part of Performer in us is it's really cool.
Yeah.
The thought that we can get 100 episodes in.
We can.
I mean, now we know we could get 1,000 in because we don't stop talking. We could talk.
Oh, bro.
Because this continues with us. The good news is for our mental 101 episode is me and Rhett still meeting weekly and grabbing our coffee.
So what you won't see or what
You're
you
just
won't
going to
hear.
see our life continue.
Yeah.
You won't see that.
We're going to be selfish and we're going to continue it. We're just not going to share it with everybody. How loving and caring
That's
is
a good
that?
way.
Yeah.
But the performer side, it is cool. That would be a little bucket list item I would have had.
Yeah.
Just if I don't get it, no big deal, but it would be neat to hit 100 episodes.
Yeah.
I didn't know we'd be able to do that when we started this, and we'll have more of this on episode 100 where we can talk stories. Mm-hmm. But I do know when we started this, we thought once a month, then we thought maybe twice a month. If we would have gone once a month, we're already at 10 years.
It's been a 5-hour episode.
We're already at, think about it. We're already at 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Then we decided to go to 2 episodes. If we would have done that, we're already at my gosh, 4 or 5 years.
And then you're like,
and
let's
now
just
we're
do
doing
it every week.
Every week. And now we're hitting 100 in 2 years. So it's just, it's really cool to see that 3-digit hit up there. But the big rock for us has always been no matter what.
Yeah.
We've always kept this hobby with purpose, meaning we're going to keep doing this because we're still best friends and we still have our time together. But our goal, the purpose with this is if we have a podcast, how cool would it be that our sons, our grandkids, our friends, people who still find this can at least listen and see what it's like to see 2 friends have honest conversation who are different yet very much similar. Yeah. And they've negotiated on the sense of how they can talk back and forth and bring balance, but then allowing people to hear, and primarily for us, is those closest to us to hear some of our stories of the sorrows, the pain, and the victories. Yeah. And that's what we want to put a focus on, especially maybe not 100. We'll try to celebrate on that last one.
Count down to 100.
Count down to 100.
We've got some
big, good stories.
Big rocks.
Rocks we want to make sure we hit.
That we want to make sure we talk about that were pivotal catalyst moments.
And maybe even discussed a little bit in some episodes that we really want to unfold it
Did you
a
say
little bit
discussed or discuss?
They were discussed.
Oh, okay.
Like they were already talked about.
Yeah.
And
sure.
little
pockets,
bite size, good story, but we want to unveil maybe a little bit more of the complete.
Yeah. So so when I filter through the next 10 conversations, I filter through, okay, what are the things that I would have loved to have asked my granddad? What are the things that I would have loved to have known?
Yeah.
Even stories that might be, painful or shameful, not very proud of, but yet, things that they've worked through, they've processed, and they've gotten they're on the other side of it, you
Yeah.
know? And so there are things in my life and my story that I'm not proud of, but I want to share to show God's faithfulness through it.
Yeah.
How he can, take what the enemy meant for evil and God turn it around for good. And there's a lot of that. And obviously we've sprinkled a lot of that through our conversations. So when I filter through at least the last 10 from what I've shared with you, is that I want to make sure that some of those are there, along with all the fun and just randomness that we talk about for sure. But in that season of divorce that I went through in the early 20s is a huge one, and that's where we're going to get to. And
next episode,
we'll save
for
that
sure.
one for next.
Yeah. A lot of time dedicated to that one.
Yep.
That's a good story. And the truth of the matter, like every episode, today we were thinking about jumping on, getting that conversation underway, and we just started talking.
I know.
And hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Yeah.
The whole theater came out of us.
And some
and it
people
went another direction.
Some people are like, "Dear Lord, could you just get to it, man?"
Like, and the answer is no.
No.
But next week we will keep ourselves accountable, and that's why we have officially announced this to you. Because we've known this for a while. But we wanted to go ahead and announce it, and it keeps us accountable. We'll have our fun story, but we will lock in. So, Rhett, we're going to talk about that story next week.
Okay.
For sure.
Lord willing.
Lord willing.
Yeah. It's coming. In the next 10, it's coming. All right. God bless everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love you. And countdown to 100 begins right now. Hey friends, thank you so much for joining us on today's conversation. We cannot wait until our next episode that drops next Monday. So until then, we hope you have a great day, stay safe, and we will see you soon right here with your friends, Rhett and Justin at Armchair Authentic.